Good morning students. This is the revision lesson for the chapter whole numbers. We studied about different properties in this chapter with respect to these four operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Okay, so let's recapitulate all the properties. So these are the three of them. First was closure property. Closure property says that whenever we apply a particular operation on two or more whole numbers, then we should get the whole number only as the answer. Whether we add the whole numbers, we subtract the whole numbers, we multiply the whole numbers, or we divide the whole numbers. So I have taken two examples each. So you see that in addition I have taken two examples, and in both the cases when I am adding two numbers I am getting a whole number only. So whole numbers are closed under addition. Okay, that means we will always get a whole number when we add two or more whole numbers. Okay, same. Now let's come to subtraction. I have taken two examples here also. In the first case we see that we get a whole number, 36 minus 29 is equal to 7, but in the second case we do not get a whole number, it is a negative number which is not a whole number. Okay, so closure property is not valid in subtraction, and we say that whole numbers are not closed under subtraction. Okay, multiplication, yes, we will always get a whole number when we multiply two or more whole numbers. So rational numbers are closed under multiplication. And in division also it is not always necessary that we will get a whole number when we divide two whole numbers. So whole numbers are not closed under division. Okay, now let's come to the next property, commutative property. Commutative property says that when we interchange the places of the whole numbers in any of the operation, the answer should not change. Commutative means it comes from the word commute, right? So commute means to travel, to move, right? So the whole numbers are moved from one place to the other and the answer should not change. So commutative property in addition. So see, I have taken two numbers, 84 and 72. I have replaced the two numbers and got the same answer, right? So addition is commutative for whole numbers. Please pay attention to these sentences, okay, which I am saying. Addition is commutative for whole numbers. Now let's come to subtraction. Now we see when we change the order, the answer got changed. In the first example, the answer was 24. 78 minus 54 is 24, while 54 minus 78 is minus 24, right? So we will get a different answer. So it is not commutative. So subtraction is not commutative for whole numbers. Similarly, multiplication, we will always get the same answer when we interchange the order. So multiplication is commutative for whole numbers, while division is not commutative for whole numbers. Okay, now let's come to the next property, that is associative property. Associative property says that whole numbers can be grouped in any order. Okay, to associative property comes from the word associate, and to associate means group, right? So see, I have taken three numbers here, 29, 2 and 6, and when we add 2 and 6 first and then add 29 to the sum, we get 37, and when we add 29 and 2 first and then add 6 to the sum, then also we get 37. So addition is associative for whole numbers as well, okay, while subtraction is not. See, the answer is changed when we group the numbers in different order, right? Multiplication, the answer does not change, and division, the answer changes. So subtraction and division are not associative for whole numbers, while addition and multiplication are associative for whole numbers. Okay, You have to note this table down. Okay. Now next property was additive identity. 0 is called the additive identity for whole numbers. Why? Because when we add 0 to any whole number, then we always get a whole number as the answer, right? And multiplicative identity, one is called the multiplicative identity for whole numbers, because when one is multiplied to any whole number, we always get the whole number, the same whole number as the product. Okay, so these were some of the properties. Now let's take some examples now. Solve using suitable property. This picture shows the commutative property. 3 plus 2 is equal to 2 plus 3. In both cases it will be 5. Okay, so this is a question. 99 plus 98 plus 96 plus 97 plus 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 4. So see students, you can add it like this only. But why do we use properties? We use properties because it makes the calculation easier. So you see that in these numbers 99 and 1, when we add these two, 99 and 1, we will get 100. So we have to find out an easy way of calculating. Okay, so we will use commutative property here and we will rearrange the numbers. So I have rearranged 99 plus 1 plus 98 plus 2 plus 97 plus 3 plus 96 plus 4. Okay, now I am using associative property to group the numbers. So I have grouped them in this way. 99 plus 1 are grouped together, 98 plus 2, 97 plus 3 and 96 plus 4. Okay, so in all the 4 cases we will get 100. So we will get 4 hundreds and the answer will be 400. Okay, next example. Now here we are using multiplication we are using. So in multiplication also we have to find an easy way to solve. So we see here that 50 and 2 will give 100, right? So we put them together, 50 and 2 together and 36 and 5 together. So now we will associate them, we will use associative property. So 50 and 2 get associated and 36 and 5 get associated. So it will be 100 into 180 and that will be 18,000. Okay, so in this way we use certain properties. Okay, next property was distributive property. Now what is distributive property? Whenever a particular number is added to the sum or difference of any number inside the bracket, then that particular number is distributed to all the numbers. Like in Angry Birds you see here, with the same bird we can kill more pigs, right? 2 or more pigs with the same bird. So here also the same rule applies. Okay, so example. Now how we use the distributive property? Now here you see that there are two products, 67 into 29 and 67 into 71. Okay, two products are there, but in both the products one of the numbers is 67. So what we do, we take 67 common. Okay, and 29 and 71 will be put inside the bracket. Okay, so what will, now we will use BODMAS rule. So 29 plus 71 is how much? 100. So it will be 67 into 100 and our answer finally will be 6700. So see, without any proper calculation we found the answer out, right? So it is so easy to use distributive property and the calculation becomes so easy. Next question is 22 into 97. Now quickly we will split 97. We will write 97 as 100 minus 3. Okay, and as you can see in the picture, the red bird is getting hitting both the pigs. Okay, so 22 will hit both the numbers 100 and 3. 22 into 100 minus the same operation will put in the between 22 into 3 So it will be 2200 minus 66, and very quickly we will subtract and we will get 2134. So this is the distributive property. Okay, we can use it in both ways. In question number 1 we are combining the numbers, while in question number 2 we are splitting the numbers. So in both ways distributive property can be used as the need be. Okay, now 2 questions we will do. Find the largest 6-digit number exactly divisible by 343. Now in this case what we do, we take the largest 6-digit number, which is, what is it? Correct, 9,99,999. Okay, and we divide this number by the given number, that is 343. Okay, now divide it quickly. Okay, so we'll get 2915 as the quotient and remainder will be 154. Now if you remember the division algorithm says dividend is equal to quotient into divisor plus remainder. So if we subtract the remainder from the dividend, then it will, no remainder will be left. Okay, then the dividend will be exactly divisible by the divisor, right? So same thing we'll do here. So we'll subtract 154 from largest 6-digit number, and what we will get? We will get 9,99,845, right? So we did it. So our required number will be 9,99,845. Alright. Next, find the smallest 5-digit number exactly divisible by 172. Now in this case we have to find the smallest 5-digit number. So the smallest 5-digit number is 10,000 and we divide it by 172. Now find the answer, find the remainder and the quotient. Yes, quotient is 58 and remainder is 24. Okay, remainder is 24. So here students, you see that if we subtract the remainder from 10,000, then what will happen? Will it remain a 5-digit number? You try it. No, it will not. So what we have to do? We have to find the next multiple of 172. So for that what we will do? We will subtract 24 from the divisor. Okay, 172 minus 24. So how much we'll get? Yes, 148. Okay, and we will add this difference to 10,000 now. Okay, so we'll get 10,148. Okay, so this is our answer. And there is one more way of finding it. If the quotient comes to be 58, then you find the 59th multiple of 172. That means you multiply 59, that is successor of 58, to 172, and you will get your required answer. So there are two ways to do this question. Okay, so hence the required number is 10,148. So students, this was the revision lesson for the chapter whole numbers. Do prepare very well for your exams, and I hope you all will do well. All the best and have a good day.